Attack from the shadows. The severity of the onslaught rattles the pack house like it's made of paper, forcing the walls around us to shudder. Panic growing within me, I clutch to Callum's arm as my breath freezes in my throat. I can feel the deep, awful rumbling of the earth beneath us vibrating in my bones. There's going to be something powerful. A tremendous shatter reverberates down the passage, and then there's the definite sound of claws scuffing the floor. I whip my head toward the door, my heart hammering. Wolves. They're present. Callum snags my hand without thinking, his grasp solid and tight. He says, calmly but urgently, "We have to move." His eyes are filled with resolution rather than fear. His body is tense and prepared for whatever is going to break through, so he drags me toward the door. Wolves, their fur bristling with fury and their eyes blazing, leap through the door as it breaks open. For a time, the loudness overwhelms me and I freeze. The air is filled with growls and snarls, producing a chaotic tornado of wrath and noise. It seems like the walls are closing in on us, but I'm not sure where that's coming from. Callum growls, "Stay with me," bringing me in close as his body stands guard between me and the rushing wolves. I can know he won't allow anything happen to me because of the fierce protective fire that flashes in his eyes. But the terror is too strong, even with him by my side. Callum faces the wolves as they rush. He struggles with incredible power and speed, yet his hand never leaves mine. As we push through the rush of people, I can scarcely keep up, my heart racing. Every breath is a strain. Every movement is a cloud. As Callum destroys one wolf after another, I can feel the heat of his body next to mine and his power flowing from him. He moves like a predator, accurate and deadly, but he's always watchful of me. He retains his grasp on my hand. "We can't fight them all, Callum." My voice quivers as I shout above the snarls. He exclaims, glancing around the room, "We're not fighting them all. We're going to get you to leave." I gasp, my body tensing, as another wolf jumps at us shortly as he finishes speaking. Callum is faster, but, and with a snarl of his own, he spins and smacks the wolf to the ground. The air around us is electrified by his deep, terrifying growls. As we approach the door, he reiterates, "Stay close," in a concentrated voice. I see something as we fight through the turmoil, a flash of fur, a peculiar fragrance. I halt for a while, staring at the wolves that are swarming all around us. I don't recognize any of their packets. They smell wrong. These are rogues, not rival pack wolves. "Callum," I cry, my voice barely overcoming the chaos. "These wolves are outlaws. They are not part of any bundle." As Callum glances around, appraising the situation, his jaw tightens and his eyes sharpen. "Rogues?" He sounds shocked but not utterly taken aback. "Whoever is behind this is more powerful than we initially believed." My stomach goes to knots as I nod. I'm hit by the knowledge. Pack rivalries aren't the only thing at risk here. This is something more substantial and riskier. These rogues are under the control of whomever is chasing me, and they have been told to eliminate us. There is no more time squandered by Callum. He drags me in the direction of the door, grasping my hand firmly as we battle through the commotion. The pack house is a war zone, with glass shattered, furniture crashing down, and wolves ripping into one another. It's unlike anything I've ever seen. The fresh night wind hit my face as we hurried out the doors and into the open air. But there is no reprieve. My heart is hammering because I know we're not yet secure, and I can still hear the sounds of battle behind us. Callum instructs in a quiet voice, "Go into the woods. We must disappear from view." I nod as we rush to the forest's edge, my body reacting instantly. Even though my lungs ache with each breath and my legs are burning, I persevere. I'm unable to stop, not with Callum at my side and the danger still hanging huge. We arrive at the tree line, where the deep woods shadows give a little break. Callum stops me as he looks around, his chest rising and falling with deep gasps. He says in a gruff but compassionate voice, "Are you okay?" I manage to say, "I'm fine," but I'm not. Adrenaline is still pulsing through my veins, and my entire body is shaking, but I know I'll get through this as long as Callum is beside me. The sound of rustling leaves behind us chills me just as I'm starting to collect my breath. I tilt my head around, my eyes wide, and my heart shoots into my throat. A figure comes from the darkness, impeding our passage. I recognize him, and my breath catches. Bennett? He is not by himself. The sight of the wolves on either side of him, their eyes gleaming in the dark, makes my stomach sink. These aren't your normal wolves. These are Bennett's devoted, vicious, and murderous personal guards. As I become aware that we are surrounded, I feel the blood drain from my face. Callum goes ahead of me with a stiff, protective posture. He growls, his voice overflowing with wrath. "Bennett, why in the world are you here?" Bennett's eyes flash with glee as his lips form a merciless grin. "Isn't it obvious?" he says in a sarcastic, silky voice. "I'm here to get what's rightfully mine." His words send chills down my spine, but I don't show my anxiety. With my pulse beating and my eyes fixated on Bennett, I stand straight. With a strong voice, I screamed out, "I'm not yours." "I was never." Bennett shakes his head and chuckles sadly. False compassion infuses his voice as he adds, "Oh, Aurora, you've been so innocent all along. Do you genuinely feel you can get away from me?" I feel the warmth of Callum's body pressing against me as his hand tightens around mine, bringing me back to the present. He has muscles that are coiled like a spring, ready to strike, and I can feel the tension radiating off him. With a low, menacing voice, Callum warns, "You'll never have her. Not as long as I'm still alive." A short flicker of wrath crosses Bennett's face as his grin wavers, but it faded as fast as it emerged, to be replaced by chilly indifference. His eyes narrow as he says, "We'll see about that." The wolves on Bennett's flanks surge at us, their looks locked on Callum before I can answer. It all occurs so rapidly. With lightning speed, Callum lunges forward, engaging the wolves head-on and forcing me back. With their fangs breaking and their claws slicing, snarls fill the air. My body is trembling from fear and adrenaline, and I'm motionless. I want to fight and help, but I'm not sure how. I can only observe Callum's quick and lethal motions as he battles the wolves. He is a strong, uncompromising force of nature. But Bennett is merely standing there, grinning smugly as he watches. He isn't doing anything at all. He is aware that he is not required to. All the job is being done for him by his wolves. "Callum!" As I witness one of the wolves bite into his arm, I scream, my voice breaking. He snarls in anguish but doesn't let up, bringing the wolf flying to the ground. I feel weak and worthless. My brain is racing and my heart is pumping. I have to take action. I can't remain motionless. Bennett takes a stride toward me and fixes his look on mine before I can move. His voice is confident and silky as he continues. "You're coming with me, Aurora. Whether or not you like it." I spit out, my body shaking with anger. "Never." He grins. "We'll check on that." Dangerous alliances. Bennett is just a few feet away, his stance straight, his face as hard as stone. He is encircled by ferocious, renegade wolves. When Callum stands guardedly in front of me, I feel the tension in his body and tighten my hold on his arm, while my heart pounding in my chest. "You didn't anticipate it being this simple, did you?" Bennett's voice pierces the calm like a dagger. He appears to be relishing the worry and uncertainty in the air because of his chilly, even mocking look. Callum's body stiffens before me as he lets out a low-pitched growl. "Bennett, you're doing something wrong." With an outraged tone, he advises, "This isn't the way." Despite the danger all around us, I feel protected due of his shielding position. Bennett's lips curl into a smirk as he chuckles bitterly. "Error," he says again, shaking his head. "No, Callum, it was a mistake to imagine that you could shield Aurora from all of this. You have no concept what's involved." I can still see the wrath burning in Bennett's eyes as Callum pushes closer, further concealing my vision. With an outraged tone, Callum shouts, "I don't need to understand your twisted games. No matter what you have planned, it will fail. We are more powerful than you know." Bennett glances at Callum with disgust, his eyes narrowing and his face hardening. "You were so confident all the time, weren't you?" He gets more menacing as his voice grows lower. "But you are oblivious of the genuine situation here. You have no power over the forces at work." His words are weighing hard on me, and I can feel it. The conviction in Bennett's voice has a terrible aspect that makes the hair on the back of my neck stand on end. Fear flowing into my veins, I tighten my clutch on Callum's arm. But Callum doesn't falter. He talks in a calm voice. "Bennett, your effort to intimidate us won't succeed. We're not going to back down." A deadly seriousness takes the place of Bennett's smirk. He murmurs softly, "You don't understand, Callum," and moves forward. With their yellow eyes staring at us like predators pursuing their prey, the rogue wolves surrounding him let out low growls. I'm not trying to frighten you. It all boils down to survival. Callum snarls once more, his barely contained wrath quivering in his chest. Survival? The word pours out of his lips like poison. You believe that betraying your people and attacking your own kind is a necessary part of survival? Bennett's attitude hardens as his face turns darker. My people, he says again in a low, frightening voice. My folks abandoned me a long time ago. I now fight for something higher than loyalties or groups. Callum's body is tight with wrath, and I can feel his tension mounting. He strikes out, his voice cutting. You're fighting for nothing. It's not worth it, regardless of what you imagine you're getting out of this. Devastation is the only result of this rout. The sound of Bennett's chilly laugh chills me to my core. Callum, you're so innocent. Do you feel you can shelter her from the approaching danger? From the uproar that would shortly break out? Callum's eyes blaze with hatred as his growl goes deeper. His voice is stern as he vows, I'll protect her from everything, no matter the cost. Bennett turns to face me, and I can feel the weight of his frigid stare. He sneers, You think you can keep her safe from me? You are incapable of self-defense. I watch as Callum's hands tighten at his sides and his mouth foldings. His voice is dangerously low as he warns, Don't test me, Bennett. If you touch her. You'll what? Bennett bursts in, his eyes sparkling with wicked laughter. Death me? You won't have the chance. The tension between us builds as the renegade wolves that are around Bennett approach closer, and their growls fill the air. As I look around, seeking to judge the situation, my breath comes in short spurts and my heart thuds in my chest. With the rogues all around us, there is no way out. We're constrained. Bennett responds, calmly but venomously. You can't win this. You might just live if you give Aurora up now. Callum glares at Bennett with raw rage as his body tenses and his breathing becomes strained. You're never going to get her, Callum shouts, his voice quivering with hate. I won't let you take her until I die. Bennett's expression hardens more as his eyes narrow. So I suppose that's what it will end up being. Bennett speaks again, his tone chillier than before Callum can react. But there is something you should be aware of before we fix this. Something I have long concealed from you. A sensation of worry creeps into my chest for the first time as I see Bennett's eyes flicker with something unrateable. He's withholding something that may make all the difference. What are you discussing? Callum makes a tough, suspicious demand. Bennett's smile returns, but it has a deeper, more sinister undertone this time. With his eyes glittering with mischievous humor, he responds quietly, There's something about your past, Callum. You've forgotten something that has the ability to wreck what you have built. His words make my blood run cold and I feel a pit of horror in my stomach. Callum's face is still harsh when I glance at him, but I can see the strain behind it. Stop playing games, Bennett, Callum snarls in a dangerous tone. Speak up if you have anything to say. Bennett moves closer and fixes his look on Callum's. Your father wasn't who you believe him to be. Callum stiffens next to me as the words hit him like a punch, and I can feel the shock seeping through him. His eyes expand significantly and his face goes pale, but he immediately hides his reaction. What are you discussing? I can hear the undertone of uncertainty in Callum's tight voice as he asks. As Bennett observes Callum's response, his smile broadens, and I can see the joy in his eyes. He whispers, Your father had secrets, Callum, in a tone that is brimming with hate, and those secrets are going to haunt you again. Callum's whole body trembles with barely contained rage as his hands fold at his sides. With an angry tone, he spits out, You're lying. Bennett's eyes shine with dark enjoyment as he gently shakes his head. You wish I was, he murmurs, but you will finally find the truth for yourself. And everything you considered to be real will come apart when you do. Beside me, I can feel Callum's rage building as he struggles to contain his emotions. His breathing is difficult. His voice trembles with wrath as he shouts, I won't let you tear us apart. Whatever you believe to be true won't make a difference. Bennett's grin evaporates and his face turns sad again. Callum, you can't escape your past, he says quietly, and you will be forced to confront the truth when it is revealed. Bennett signals to the renegade wolf by turning on his heel before Callum can respond. Over his shoulder he adds, I'll give you one last chance. You'll lose more than just your life if you don't give up, Aurora. Bennett exits, fleeing into the darkness, pursued by the rogues. Long after they have gone, the tension is still evident, and I can feel Bennett's statements dragging us down like a suffocating fog. Beside me, Callum is motionless, his body quivering with barely controlled wrath. I attempt to soothe him by laying a hand on his arm, but I can feel the storm growing inside of him. Callum, what did he mean? My voice trembles as I ask quietly. Callum is motionless for a moment, looking at the area where Bennett departed. His voice is low and tight when he ultimately speaks. His voice is hoarse as he admits, I don't know. But it's not good, whatever it is. I also can't get rid of the notion that this is simply the start of something considerably worse as the weight of Bennett's warning comes upon us. Something that has the potential to damage what we have fought so hard to protect. The revelation. Like a keen, merciless knife, Bennett's sentence cuts through the tension. Callum, tell her. Let her know who you truly are. I go cold. His implication-laden words stay in the air, and my heart speeds as I fight to understand what's going on. Callum hasn't revealed something that lies beneath the surface. In an effort to find answers, my look flickers between Bennett and Callum, but all I see is calculating coldness on Bennett's face and something much more worrisome on Callum's. What is he discussing? I ask in a shaky but forceful voice, my need for clarity overtaking me. At first, Callum avoids eye contact with me, his jaw tensing as though he's fighting an internal struggle. I can see his hands squeezing into fists at his sides, and his broad shoulders are tense. Something is being hidden by him, something significant. And he is being torn apart by whatever it is. His voice is thick with feeling as he starts, There are things I haven't told you, Aurora. My chest tightens with worry as his blue eyes flash with sorrow, a real, honest pain. But this isn't the moment. Isn't now the right time? I repeat, my words laced with doubt. Callum, what could be so awful that you would not tell me about it, particularly at this time when everything is disintegrating? With anger coming to the surface, I raise my voice. I've trusted him and fought with him, but now he's hidden something else. A slow, steady step forward is taken by Bennett. As he watches the exchange, his eyes dance with dark pleasure and his smile is nasty. I'll tell her if you don't, Bennett mocks. My breath catches in my throat as I swallow forcefully. Bennett holds this secret over us like a weapon, a tool for destruction since it is important enough, and I'm afraid of that. I beg, Callum, in a softer, more sensitive voice. My fingers brush his arm as I take a step toward him. I get a chill from the warmth of his skin when I touch it, but I can also feel the stress pouring off him in waves. Just tell me what it is, please. I must know. At last, Callum's look meets mine, and I almost cry at the expression. It is more than just sadness. It is also regret, guilt, and something more deep. I get the sense that he has been carrying this weight for far too long. But he still hesitates. His voice is hardly audible above a whisper as he answers, I didn't want you to find out like this. Not when things are so chaotic. As if trying to make sense of his own ideas, he shakes his head. But Bennett is right. The truth is something you earn. When Callum admits, Bennett's smile broadens, and I can see the joy in his eyes. He's taking pleasure in this, seeing us fall apart and profiting from our stress. He sneers, his voice filled with malicious joy. Oh, this is going to be good. I feel as though the ground is moving beneath me, and my heart is thumping in my chest. I tighten my hold on Callum's arm because I need a strong base. I say, tell me, in a stronger tone. I'm capable of handling it. As though the entire world were pushing down on him, Callum lets out a shaky breath and runs a hand through his hair. He looks from me to Bennett and back again, as like he's judging the harm this revelation will do. He starts warily. I didn't know when I met you. I had no idea how much you meant to me, not initially. My brow wrinkles in confusion. What do you mean? With a sad tone, he goes on, I've been a part of something bigger than you and me. I was supposed to. As though saying the words aloud is painful, his eyes close and his voice falters. Bennett laughs eerily. All right, Callum, explain to her that you were assigned to ruin her. As my heart falters, I step back and take my hand from Callum's arm. What? With my head spinning from the charge, I mumble. Callum reaches for me, his eyes opening wide with desperation. No, Aurora, That isn't the case. That was never the case. Not after I became acquainted with you. I wobble backwards and shake my head. Sent to harm me. Even so, what does that mean? Who sent you? The elders, Callum admits in a sorrowful tone. I didn't know you were the one at first. I had no idea that you were my mate. I was doing what I was told. They told me to get to know you in order to spot your flaws. He stops, breathing in hard, short gasps. But when I understood how much you meant to me, everything changed. I feel as though I can't breathe because my chest is so compressed. The words hit me hard, one after the other, and I wasn't ready for them. You were spying on me then? The entire time? No. Callum cries sharply as he approaches me, his eyes beseeching. No anymore. Aurora, I promise you that I stopped the instant I recognized who you are to me. Since then, I've been trying to keep you safe. I'm trying to understand what he's saying, and my mind is running. How was he able to hide this from me? He was working against me the entire time, so how could he have acted as though nothing was wrong? My voice cracks as I add, You should have told me. You ought to have been honest with me. Every line of Callum's face is marked with pain as it crumples. I understand, he mumbles. I apologize, I know. But I couldn't let you go. Not after all that we have suffered. Bennett's speech pierces the instant like a blade. You see, Aurora? From the start, he has been fooling you. How is it possible to trust someone such as that? My anger flares as I look at Bennett. How about you? I lose my anger. You're not any better. You are pulling us apart by using this against us. Bennett shrugs while keeping a constant smile. Aurora, I'm just being honest with you. It is up to you what you decide to do with it. With a hurting heart, I turn back to Callum. His body trembles a little as he waits for my answer, and I can see the sorrow in his eyes. I can tell how much this lie has cost him just by the fact that he is afraid. But the deception still stings. I add softly, my voice full with fire, I'm not sure if I can trust you right now. With his hand reaching out to cup my face, Callum takes a step closer. He says, his breath warm against my skin, Please, Aurora, don't allow this to split us. I value you. You have always been loved by me. Even though I can feel the truthfulness in his words, the news is still too much to take. My body trembles with uncertainty as I pull away. I say, I just need some time. Cold and cruel, Bennett's laughter fills the air between us. Aurora, time won't change what he done. You will always question if you can rely on him. My eyes spark with anger as I turn to face Bennett. Stop talking, Bennett. It has nothing to do with you. His comments, but continue to gnaw at the doubt that has already started to grow in the back of my mind, the Callum secret. Callum's secrets weigh so much that, as he stands in front of me, his towering frame seems much smaller. As he turns to face me, his shoulders slump and his typically erect stance breaks. My heart is throbbing in my ears as I wait for him to say anything, and the calm between us is stifling. He breaks the solitude at last in a soft, regretful voice. Years ago, before we met, I negotiated a deal with someone, a deal that went south for me, and his remarks sway the room. I attempt to relax myself by taking a short step back as my breath freezes in my throat. A bargain? What's the issue? Though I can't quite bring myself to say it, the question is burning on my lips. Whatever this contract was, I could tell from the fear in his eyes that it would ruin the delicate world I have built with him. I make an attempt to look him in the eye, but he swiftly turns away as though he can't bear to see how upset he is going to make me feel. Callum, what type of bargain? I speak in a whisper, but it's evident how urgent I am. For a short minute, I can feel the battle within him, the strain between keeping this secret concealed and exposing it to me, as he foldings his jaw and balls his hands into fists at his sides. Though not without a battle, the latter triumphs. He slowly turns to face me, and the embarrassment that flashes in his eyes makes me feel uncomfortable in ways I never imagined. His voice is scarcely discernible above a whisper as he admits, I agreed to align with an enemy. Like a storm cloud about to explode, the words loom large in the atmosphere. For authority, for defense, I assumed I could keep everything under control and protect you. The environment begins to whirl as I blink. A foe? In my mouth, the word seems alien, as if it had no place here, between us. Why would you act in such way? Why would you strike a bargain with an adversary, Callum? His fingers are shaking just a little as he runs a hand through his hair. With a hint of desperation in his voice, he replies, I didn't know you then, Aurora. Before I realized how much you meant to me, that is. Prior to comprehending how much I would need you. I did it for my pack's survival. I felt it to be the only method of securing my property. Now, the betrayal is more serious and pierces the frail trust that we have formed. My heartbeat quickens, and tears burn at the corners of my eyes, but I blink them away, not wanting to let him see how deeply his words are shattering me. And now, my voice trembles as I ask, Callum, what do they want? How much does this offer cost? He swallows fiercely, his Adam's apple bobbing as he attempts to speak. He is quiet for a lengthy period of time, and the stillness envelops me like a restricting blanket. I must hear it, even though I can see the agony in his eyes and the guilt eating at him. No matter how unpleasant the fact is, I must know it. At last, he lets out a tremulous breath, and his voice is filled with sorrow as he says, Aurora, they want you. My heart falters, and I feel as if someone has hit me in the gut, snatching my breath away. What? The phrase scarcely leaves my lips as my brain attempts to grasp what he just said. Unable to meet my look, Callum averts his eyes and maintains his eyes on the ground. The deal was struck in exchange for power. I needed power to safeguard my bag, but they have now come to collect up their money. And you are that payment. The weight of his confession strikes me hard, forcing my knees to weaken and the room to tilt. My legs feel like they may crumble beneath me, so I reach out and grip the edge of the table for support. You deceived me? My voice cracks as waves of shock flood over me. You struck a bargain that endangered me? No, he shouts urgently as he approaches me, his eyes flaming with sorrow. Aurora, it's not like that. I had no clue things would go to this point. By keeping you out of it, I hope to keep them at bay. But now that they're stronger, they want you. I would never deliberately put you in risk. My eyesight is obscured by tears, but I'm not letting them go. The treachery and the grief are too much. How did you accomplish this? I suffocate. How could you agree to a deal that puts my life in danger? When Callum reaches out to touch me, his face crumples and he emits agony. But I pull away because I'm too wounded to allow him to come near. His voice shakes as he adds, I was trying to protect you. I assumed I could control it and keep them at bay, but now they're too powerful. I can't stop them on my own. They're coming for you. Each of his statements was harsher than the last, and they struck me like a ton of bricks. I am unable to conceive or appreciate the consequences of this for us. For me, I only know that the guy I have invested my life and heart in has made a deal that might end it all. You ought to have informed me, I continue, my voice scarcely audible above a whisper. You ought to have notified me. Callum, I trusted you. I cherished you. His voice is heavy with passion as he responds, I love you too, Aurora. Beyond anything. That's why I made an effort to keep you secure. I never intended for you to be touched by this. But it is now too late. He has brought danger into my life, and it is swiftly approaching. All I can feel is the crushing weight of his treachery, yet my mind is racing with ideas about what to do next and how to make things better. I shake my head and say, It's unbelievable that you did this. I no longer even recognize you. Callum's hands stretch out once more in a desperate effort to hold me and help me realize as his face contorts in misery. Please, he pleads, Aurora. I'm going to remedy this even though I know I made errors. I'll do anything it takes to keep you secure. I promise. But now that he has exposed the truth to me for so long, his guarantees seem fragile. How? With a quivering voice, I ask. You brought this enemy into our lives, so how are you going to defend me against them? With a tightened jaw, Callum proclaims, I'll fight them. If I have to, I'll remove them one by one. I refuse to allow them to touch you. My heart is drawn by the passion in his words, yet the horror lingers. The darkness that Callum has put into our lives makes me frightened of what is ahead. The doubt clings, heavy and suffocating, no matter how much I want to believe him, to trust that he can heal this. What happens if it is too late? The question hovers in the air like a death sentence as I say it. It's not, Callum says, taking a step closer with steely look. There's always time to act. Aurora, I'll stop at nothing to defend you. All that matters to me is you. I'd like to think he's real. I want to believe that love is sufficient to get through this and that we may somehow emerge stronger. In fact, but I'm not sure whether we can. I am devastated by the weight of his confession, and I now realize that the peril we face is far greater than I could have ever thought. We're not just struggling for our lives, we're up against a force so great that even Callum may not be able to stop it with all of his might. The hardest thing is that I'm not sure whether I can manage it on my own. I'm crushed beneath the weight of Callum's revelation, and I understand how much more dangerous we are than I previously assumed. A heart torn. Aching beneath the weight of Callum's revelation, my heart tightens. I feel as if someone has hit me and taken the breath out of my lungs. As the truth strikes me more, my hands start to tremble and my chest feels constricted. He made a bargain with them. He placed me in peril, well knowing of the possible implications. I glance at him, trying to find an explanation, anything that would justify this betrayal. You struck a bargain with them? The grief is so palpable and visceral that my voice quivers as I speak. Callum, you put me in danger. How would you achieve that? I can feel the words ripping through the small shards of my confidence in him. I quickly shrink away from the guy I thought I knew as he makes a timid step toward me. His voice is full of anguish as he says, I didn't know it would end like this. Please, Aurora, you were never intended to be engaged in this. I never wanted to do you harm. His words linger, but they don't make the sorrow go away. Between my love for him and the treachery that now looms between us like an impassable abyss, my heart is hammering. My desire to trust him is crushed by the weight of his conduct. How could you have been unaware? My voice growing in irritation, I ask. How could you negotiate a contract with an opponent and not expect that it would backfire, to come back to haunt me? For a short period, I can see the vulnerability in Callum's eyes as his face contorts with guilt, the part of him that regrets every mistake that led us to this point. But it doesn't take away from what he accomplished. The menace he has put into our life cannot be erased. He breaks his voice as he continues, I thought I could control it. I felt I could hide you from everything. I had no notion they were coming for you. I vow that I did it for us, for the pack. The hurt is only made more sharp by his remarks. I've heard his promises that I'll keep you safe and protect you, but they don't matter right now. I feel as if the walls are closing in on me, and I'm breathing hard due to the weight of his treachery. I quiver as I say, I trusted you, Callum. My heart was entrusted to you. I had trust in us. Additionally, you have now broken everything. His eyes urge me to understand as he pushes forward, but I'm unwilling to allow him in. Not right now. Not after this. Callum's voice cracks under the pressure as he adds, I never wanted to break your heart. Please don't ignore me, Aurora. This is something we can fix. I can make this right. Repair it? I shake my head, laughing fiercely. How will you resolve this? How can you keep me from slipping into the clutches of an adversary? How do you make apologies for betraying the one person who supported you? My vision gets fuzzy as tears build up in my eyes, but I blink them away. I refuse to let him see my collapse. Never again, even though my voice is scarcely audible. I know he hears me murmur, I thought we were in this together. I believed you loved me. With a voice full of passion, Callum confesses, I do love you. Beyond anything. I made the contract in the first place for that reason, to keep you and us safe. The ache in my chest is so intense that I shake my head. It wasn't for us. But I believed it was for power. What about me? You wanted to maintain your heritage and your pack. How about us? I can tell when Callum is unable to look into my eyes. He placed power first of love. I'm paying the price now since he selected someone else, someone dangerous. My voice breaks as I add, I can't forgive this. Callum, I'm not sure how to forgive this. He approaches me once again, his hands spread as if to hug me, but I take a step back, preserving my space. Right now, I can't allow him to touch me. I can't allow him to come near enough to break me once again. Please, Aurora, he begs in a desperate, begging tone. I beg you to. Keep your eyes on me. Don't allow this to divide us. But it has already. The damage has been done. It is a true betrayal, and I'm not sure how to get over it. I tremble when I say I need time. I need time to think this out. I am unable to be close to you at this moment. He tries to dispute. But before he can say anything, a new voice sends chills down my spine by piercing through the tension like a knife. Well, isn't this touching? A well-known voice, full with malice, reverberates from the darkness. My heart stops. That voice is recognizable to me. I never envisioned hearing this voice so soon, and I've dreaded it ever since Callum's admission. Greta, the lady who now controls my destiny, the same one with whom Callum signed his pact. Beside me, Callum's body stiffens, his muscles tensing as he stares in the direction of the speaker. As Greta emerges from the shadows, with a devious sneer on her lips, I follow his look and feel my pulse race. She is exactly as terrible as I remember, her presence filling the room with horror. I can tell she understands everything, because her dark eyes glitter with amusement as she takes in our presence. She is aware of the pact, Callum's deceit, and the destroyed trust that now exists between us. Greta goes up to us and says, well, in a silky voice. It appears that the contented couple is having some arguments. Callum growls, pushing ahead of me as if to shield me from her. Stay out of this, Greta. Greta simply laughs, and it's a frigid, empty sound that makes my skin crawl, she purrs. Oh, Callum, you ought to be aware by now that you are not allowed to make demands. Not after our agreement. Greta looks unfazed, despite the tension I can feel emanating from Callum's body, which is coiled with wrath and frustration. She is loving every second of her advantage, which she is aware of. What are you looking for? I inquire in a voice that is remarkably steady for the panic I'm experiencing. I refuse to show her my degree of dread. I will not notify her that she has already won. Greta glances at me, her eyes calculating and dark. She repeats, "What do I want?" as a threatening sneer curves her lips. Aurora, I guess you already know. The payment is you. It's time for Callum to honor his half of the agreement. The knowledge of my dilemma makes my stomach churn. I am the piece in a game I never wanted to play, the price for Callum's bargain. And now I'm in front of the lady who has authority over my future. With an outraged tone, Callum yells, "I won't let you take her. I will not allow you to touch her until I die." Unimpressed by his outburst, Greta raises an eyebrow. "Callum, you've already delivered her to me. The transaction is complete. Now there is no going back." As Greta's words take hold, I feel as if the room is closing in on me, the walls pushing down. I understand Callum's fear and desperation, but there is nothing he can do. We're both suffering the price for his choice. With an outraged tone, Callum reiterates, "You're not taking her. If I have to, I'll fight you. I'll battle you all." Greta's eyes sparkle with enjoyment as her grin broadens. "Oh, I hope you give it a shot." My heart is hammering in my chest as I swallow hard. The moment when everything changes is here. I can feel the tension mounting, the storm gathering, and I am conscious that our destiny will be determined by what comes next. Greta approaches closer and sets her eyes on mine before I can determine what to do or make up my mind. With a tone full of contempt, she murmurs, "It's time, Aurora. Your destiny is set." A voice yells out from the darkness before I can make up my mind. Greta has arrived, and she is fully aware of everything. Greta's offer. The tension in the air is suffocating and weighty. I'm not sure whether it's because of Greta's surprise visit or Callum's treachery, but every time I breathe, my chest feels tighter. Anger, sorrow, betrayal, and most crucially, bewilderment, clash as my mind rushes. How did things get so out of hand so fast? Callum was supposed to be the only person I could rely on to keep me safe. But now I find myself wedged between the woman who wants to further break my relationship and the guy who just wrecked it. Like a predator enjoying its meal, Greta advances slowly and methodically. My skin crawls as her lips twist into a cunning smile. She purrs, her voice filled with joy. "Looks like your precious Callum isn't as perfect as you thought, Aurora." Her comments make me tense. My body is tense in every way. I look at Callum, who has a pale face and huge, guilty eyes. The way Greta's eyes shine with hate, as though she's been waiting for this moment, wanting to watch me crumble, is what has me transfixed, not his betrayal. My fists grip at my sides as I look her in the eye. "Greta, what do you want?" My voice sounds harsh, tinged with the rage I'm struggling to control. Clearly amused by my question, she raises an eyebrow. "What do I want?" she asks again in a sarcastic tone. "Oh, my love, it's about what you need, not what I want." As she moves closer, her smile gets bigger. "And you need a way out right now." Her words send a shiver down my spine. "What are you discussing?" I ask, attempting to speak steadily. Greta's look flits to Callum, who is standing a few feet away, his head lowered and silent. It's really easy, she adds in a sweet but deadly tone. Callum struck an agreement with the adversary. Aurora, he placed you at jeopardy. After this, do you really think you can trust him? Recalling Callum's treachery makes me swallow forcefully and stiffen my throat. The hurt from his confession is still fresh, and the recollection is quite clear. I placed my life and my heart in his hands, and he tossed it all away. But a part of me still thinks there is more to the tale and wants to trust in him despite the agony. I had no idea. Even though Callum's voice is scarcely heard, it pierces the environment like a blade. Aurora, I had no idea things would go to this point. I had no intention of harming you. His words remain between us, but now they sound empty, like a resonance of a commitment never meant to be fulfilled. But Greta isn't swayed by his remorse. Her eyes glitter with excitement as she lets forth a small chuckle. Oh, isn't it adorable? He had no intention of harming you. Her face tightens as she turns to face me. But, Aurora, he did. You're in more danger than you believe due of his treachery. I take a shuddering breath, seeking to calm my sensations. What makes you concerned? I query in a frigid tone. Greta, what's in it for you? Greta smiles again, but it's more calculating and malicious this time. Dark humor permeates her voice as she adds, Oh, I have my reasons. But all you need to know right now is that I'm giving you an escape route. With my heart racing in my chest, I narrow my eyes at her. What sort of escape? She appeared to have been waiting for me to ask, as shown by the anticipation in her eyes. She says, It's easy, and advances closer until she is just in front of me. Go away from Callum. Leave him and all he has done behind. I'll make sure you're secure if you come with me. My thoughts are racing as I stare at her. Get away from Callum. I receive a jolt at the thought. How can I just leave? I still care for him in spite of everything, especially the deceit. I still love him. But knowing what he did, how can I stay? How can I ever put my faith back in him? What occurs if I don't? I ask, scarcely lifting my voice above a whisper. For the first time, I see the darkness in Greta's eyes as her smile wanes. You'll have to deal with the ramifications from Callum's actions if you don't, Aurora. And you won't make it through them, I guarantee you. I feel a flash of terror, but I immediately conceal it so she won't know how weak I am. What makes you worthy of my trust? With a stronger voice, I insist. Greta, you're not exactly known for being honest. Greta laughs softly, amusement glimmering in her eyes. Her voice is alluring as she answers, You don't have to trust me, but you'll accept my offer if you wish to survive. I glance back at Callum and a knot begins to build in my throat. He's still devastated and quiet as he stands there. When we stare at one another, I momentarily see the guy I fell in love with and felt I could trust. But the rage returns as the recollection of his treachery comes over me like a wave. Callum, how could you have done this? I mutter, my voice trembling from the intensity of my sensations. How could you have betrayed me in this way? Callum advances a step, his eyes beseeching. Please, Aurora, I was unaware. You were unaware? I interrupted him, increasing my voice. You were threatening my life, and you were unconscious of it? You were dealing with the enemy, and you were unconscious of it? His humiliation makes his face crumple, but I can't allow myself to feel sympathetic. Not right now. Not with everything at risk. The sharp, desperate sound of Greta's voice penetrates the quiet. Callum, quit making excuses. Aurora is deserving of better. Even though I dislike how she's managing the situation, I look at her because I know she's accurate. I was harmed by Callum in a manner I never expected. He violated my trust. I now have a choice to make, one that has the ability to transform everything. Like a poison, Greta's offer hangs in the air, enticing me in. Get away from Callum. Leave. Keep yourself secure. It sounds so basic and uncomplicated, but I'm positive it's not. With Greta, nothing is ever that simple. I feel my heart tearing in two as I turn to face Callum again, his eyes full of misery. How can I pick between my own safety and the guy I love? How can I select between the unknown and betrayal? I admit, my voice no more than a whisper, I don't know what to do. Greta adopts a facade of pity, but her eyes glitter with victory. Aurora, you don't have to make a choice just yet. But bear in mind that time is running short, and you're just jeopardizing yourself if you continue to live with him. Her words bounce in my thoughts, each one into my heart more profoundly. The decision's weight is crushing me. and I can feel the walls closing in. My life will never be the same, regardless of what I decide. I strive to block out the outside world and think straight by shutting my eyes, but it's tough. It's all too much. The anguish, the dread, the wrath. I'm not sure if I can pull this off, but I must. I breath slowly, open my eyes, and look between Greta and Callum. It's this, the moment that will make all the difference. And I don't know what to do. I hear a voice in the back of my brain urging me to pick between the lady who is affording me a perilous escape and the guy I love as I stand there. Greta, but, creeps closer before I can, her voice low and full of a deadly promise. Aurora, make a smart decision, she whispers. Because there's no turning back once you make up your mind. I am then left standing on the verge of a choice that has the power to either rescue me or irrevocably destroy me as the weight of the world settles upon me. I can't decide whether to accept Greta's dangerous offer or remain with the guy who misled me. My life will never be the same in any way, torn between love and survival. I remain still, divided between two worlds. I can still hear Greta's voice, her offer creeping like a wicked spell into my thoughts. I'm not sure which direction to go, and it kills my heart to twist. Callum is standing close by, his eyes beseeching me to choose him in spite of everything, his face etched with remorse. Don't listen to her, Aurora. Callum has a frantic, unpolished voice. Although his words cut through the tension in the air, they don't actually assist to quiet the pandemonium inside of me. His lies still sting, and his treachery is still raw. How can I ever again trust him? Is it possible for me to look at him the same way? Ehin. But Greta, the situation is only made worse by her presence. Her lips curl into a satisfied grin as she takes a bold stride forward. He has misled you, Aurora. He has consistently placed you at jeopardy. For what purpose? For his own self-interest. It seems like she's giving me a lifeline I didn't know I needed because of how smooth and enticing her voice is. With the weight of my decision coming down on me like a heavy blanket, I swallow hard. What are you really offering me, Greta? I can scarcely respond as my throat is dry. Greta steps closer, her tone softening and becoming more sensual, her eyes glimmering with dark delight. Aurora, I'm giving you freedom, security, a life free from the need to always watch your back, wondering when the next danger may hit, a life free from the deceit of a guy who is incapable of providing you with safety. Her words stabbed me like sharp daggers, each one focused right at the most susceptible places of my heart. The concept of being emancipated from all of this. Free from the threat, the lie, the relentless horror. I can nearly taste how good it is. But at what price? Leaving Callum and dismissing the events we've shared? I give Callum another glance. His lips is gripped firmly as if he's holding back everything he wants to say, and his eyes are full of remorse. Please, Aurora. Don't allow her to control you, he adds gently, his voice hardly discernible above a whisper. I would never purposefully injure you, even if I admit my inadequacies. You must trust me. I'd like to think he's real. I want to go to him, throw myself into his arms, and let him hold me until everything else vanishes. But the betrayal is too terrible, and the wound is too fresh. After all this, how can I trust him? How can I be confident that he won't turn on me again? Greta approaches me, smothering me with her presence. She says, "He's not the man you think he is," as her breath brushes my ear. "He will always be the same. His lies and secrets will always come before you. Aurora, come with me. Allow me to keep you secure." I don't know how I tried to think properly by shutting my eyes and tuning out her words. All I see, but is the anguish that echoes mine and the brokenness in Callum's eyes. I have no clue what to do. I feel as if my heart is being ripped apart and dragging me in two different ways. What makes you worthy of my trust? With my voice cracking from the pressure of what I'm feeling, I ask Greta. Why should I think you're looking out for my best interests? Greta smiles broadly, as though she has been anticipating this. Because I have nothing to hide from you, unlike him, she replies, pointing to Callum. No lies, no secrets. From the beginning, I have been honest with you. I've proven Callum's genuine powers to you. Additionally, I can supply you with a technique of getting out of this predicament. With his hand out as if to keep me from sliding away, Callum takes a step forward. Please, Aurora, I pledge to make things right, even though I know I've wounded you. Whatever it takes, I'll do it. Simply said, Don't accompany her. Don't abandon us. His words force my heart to fold. I've tried to ignore it, but something deep inside of me is tugged by the sheer passion in his voice. I still admire him in spite of everything, especially the deceit. It's an incontrovertible reality that greatly frightens me. But can this be remedied by love alone? My voice breaks as I murmur, I don't know what to do. My eyes are watering as I glance between them, unable to control myself. Greta and Callum, the man who destroyed my heart yet still has it in his grasp, and Greta's alluring assurances of freedom and protection. Greta's urgent tone of speech breaks through my hesitancy. Aurora, you don't have to make a decision just now, but you should consider your future. Consider what is best for you. He will always be the same. You will constantly be in risk if you continue to live with him. But you will be safe with me. You will be in charge of your life. Command. The term strikes me more forcefully than I anticipated. I haven't experienced that in a very long time. Chaos, peril, and uncertainty have characterized my life. It's exciting to think that I might finally have some influence over my destiny. But at what price? I turn to Callum and say in a steady but weak voice, Callum, I must know the truth. Everything. I need you to be completely honest with me if you want me to remain, and if you want my trust rebuilt. No more secrets. His eyes are full of resolution as he nods. Aurora, I'll tell you everything, I promise, but you must give me a chance to fix the issue. With my heart throbbing in my chest, I breath deeply. I'm sitting on a cliff, and the plunge will be excruciating regardless of my direction. Greta's offer is attractive, and I want to accept it in order to get away from the sorrow and uncertainty that have taken over my life. But a part of me is reluctant to let go of Callum or our love, even if it has been soiled by lies. My voice scarcely rises above a whisper as I attempt to say, I just need time. But before anyone can speak, a slight rustling that sounds like the whisper of shifting shadows, breaks the tight mood in the room. My heart skips a beat as I turn toward the source, my blood flowing cold. A person emerges from the darkness, and I feel a shiver simply looking at them. Someone more dangerous than Greta, and someone I never imagined. Aurora, did you really think you could decide without my help? The voice is unpleasant, dark, and full of hatred. Even Callum stiffens, his eyes narrowing as he recognizes the newcomer, and Greta's face wavers. It's going to alter everything I thought I knew, and I simply ran out of time to make a choice. The mastermind revealed. The tension that suffocates us permeates the air around us, making everything heavy. I can feel it engulfing me and clinging on so strongly that I'm having problems breathing. As I watch the figure walk out of the shadows and into the moonlight, I stand immobile, my pulse hammering. My spine receives a shiver from his presence. It's chilly and menacing. Victor. I've recently heard tales about this person. He has a reputation for being harsh, strong, and secretive. Even though I don't know him, I can feel the sadness flowing from him even though I haven't seen him before today. His eyes flicker over Callum and Greta before focusing on me, and he smiles maliciously as he glances around. He replies, "Looks like I arrived just in time," in a mockingly smooth voice. My skin creeps at the sound of it. He oozes confidence as he stands erect, and from the way he glances at me, it seems like he already knows how this will end, treating me like a piece in his diabolical plot. Beside me, Callum's body stiffens, his entire visage transforming in an instant from guilt to defense. I can just feel the wrath flowing from him as his jaw tightens. He growls, "Victor," and advances a bit ahead of me to shield me from whatever harm Victor may be bearing. Stay away from her. Victor's eyes shine with joy as his smile becomes broader. "Ah, Callum," he says in a condescending tone. "You're always the hero, are you not? But we both recognize that's not who you actually are." I'm intimidated by the sincerity in his voice and the way he delivers it. What is his knowledge of Callum? I've already revealed falsehoods. What could be worse? I glance to Callum, trying to read his expression for hints, but his attention is riveted on Victor. His muscles are tight, preparing to fight if necessary. Callum mutters to himself, "Don't listen to him, Aurora," while keeping eye contact with Victor. "He's just trying to manipulate you." Victor delivers a deep, menacing chuckle. "Manipulate her?" He lifts an eyebrow, apparently amused. "I don't have to control her. The truth works considerably better." His frigid glare moves to me, and all of a sudden it feels as if he is staring deep into my soul, seeing every doubt, every concern, and everything I have sought to hide. His voice softens when he adds, "Aurora," but there's a note of danger in it. "You have no idea how important you are, do you?" My breath catches in my throat and my heart starts to speed. What is he discussing? He's here, but why? Why is he interested in me? "I don't understand," I whisper, my voice hardly audible. "What do you want from me?" Victor's eyes narrow slightly as his glance grows more concentrated. "Aurora, it's not about what I want. It has to do with what you must know." He advances slowly and methodically as he approaches. "Callum's lies are nothing compared to the secrets I hold." Now that he is completely in front of me, Callum lightly grips my wrist with his extended hand. Although his touch is grounding and soothing, I can sense the tension between us. Callum shouts, "Stop playing your games, Victor," in a furious tone. "You don't belong here. Go." Victor laughs once again, louder and more frightening this time. "Oh, Callum," he mockingly says, "you have no power to give directives, not after everything you've kept from her." The terror that rises in my chest is irrepressible. What is Victor discussing? What hasn't Callum told me? With my eyes wandering between the two guys, I take a slight step back and free my wrist from Callum's clasp. The world under me appears to be crumbling, and I'm standing on the cliff with no clue which direction to go. I implore, "Tell me the truth," in a firm but shaky voice. I must know. "Callum, what is he talking about?" For a short while, I can sense the fragility hidden behind Callum's wrath as his eyes flicker with sorrow. "I vow to explain everything, Aurora. Not here, but not right now. We must go before." "Before what?" With a forceful voice, Victor interrupts. "Before she learns who she really is." My pulse quickens, and I look at Victor as my heart skips a beat. Who am I? What do you mean? Something evil shines in Victor's eyes, and it makes me tremble. "Oh, Aurora," he says, his tone overflowing with fake empathy. "Haven't you been in the dark for a long time? Don't worry, but I'm here to help you realize the truth." With his hands clasped at his sides, Callum moves a step. "Victor, don't." Victor, but interrupts him with a strong, forceful voice. "Aurora, you feel you are totally aware of your history. You've only been told half the tale, but the reality is significantly more convoluted than you've been taught to think," he continues, stopping to appreciate the tension in the room. My heart feels like it could burst from the power of its throbbing. I glance at Callum, but his eyes are glowing with wrath, his jaw is set, and his countenance is impenetrable. Despite looking to be on the edge of erupting, he stays quiet. Victor advances on me once again, but I keep still. I am unable to. Every nerve in my body is screaming for answers, and I'm locked in one location. "You've always wondered why you felt different, haven't you?" Victor has a calm, almost sensual voice. "Why you've never quite fit in with the world around you?" The reality of what he said strikes me like a ton of bricks, but I don't respond. There was something about me that didn't quite fit, and I've always felt uneasy. I've never been able to articulate it, but Victor smiles, apparently delighted that I didn't say anything. "That's because, Aurora, you're different from the others. You are special. Even Callum is unable to completely appreciate the power you wield." My throat tightens every breath. "A power?" I'm able to whisper. "What are you talking about?" A sad visage takes Victor's place as his smile evaporates. "There is a talent in your family's lineage, something that has been hidden from you throughout your life. Aurora, you were intended for something bigger, something substantially broader than your existing way of existence." My mind is spinning with questions as I look at him. What does he say? A present? A force? Why haven't I heard this before? Callum approaches, his voice strained with irritation. "Aurora, don't listen to him. He is twisting the facts. He is taking advantage of you." But Victor's words have already gotten embedded in my mind, like a seed that will not go away. All I see when I glance at Callum is the tightness in his jaw and the storm gathering behind his eyes. I scrutinize his face for any clue that he is lying to me. "Is it true?" With a quivering voice, I ask, Do I have some kind of power?" There is a deafening hush from Callum. Victor takes a step forward, his eyes sparkling with happiness. "Aurora, he has known all along, but because he was terrified, he withheld it from you, fearful of the person you may become, fearful of losing influence over you." The ground appears to be sliding away from beneath me, Everything I considered to be true about my life and who I am is breaking apart. Did Callum know? Did he not tell me this? Why? Is this true? I beg again, louder and more vehemently this time. At last, Callum turns to face me, his eyes filled with shame. Aurora, Victor takes one more step before he can finish, his presence overpowering. You're more important than you realize, Aurora, he adds gently. There are riddles in your history that will impact everything, and the only one who can aid you in discovering them is me. With my pulse pumping and my thoughts racing, I take a step back. How should I proceed? Who am I expected to trust? Even though Victor's voice becomes a whisper, his words are sharp and obvious through my mental fuzz. Aurora, you're not just anyone. You possess the key to something much larger than you could have ever thought. My heart is racing in my chest as I look at him. It dawned on me then that nothing would ever be the same. A past unraveled, Victor's voice slashes through the silence, icy and ruthless, and I feel as though every nerve in my body is electrified by his words. I stand rooted, heart hammering so ferociously I fear it might burst. His tone is chilly, his visage an unreadable mask of evil satisfaction. What are you talking about? What do you know about my past? I demand, my voice quivering despite my efforts to remain composed. Each sentence trembles with equal parts fear and defiance, as if I'm pleading for answers I've yearned for and dreaded in equal measure. Victor strides forward cautiously, each calculated stride amplifying the strain that rises between us. His eyes, cold, uncompromising, and curiously calculating, lock onto mine, and I feel as if he's staring deep into the depths of my soul. Your bloodline isn't as simple as you think, he murmurs, his voice silky and laced with venom. There's a reason everyone wants you, Aurora. You're part of something much bigger than you can imagine. His words resound throughout me, unleashing a whirlwind of contradictory feelings. My mind swims with questions about family, fate, and the hidden forces that might be throwing all I've known into turmoil. I can almost feel the mysteries of my heritage whirling around me like shadows at dusk, dark and sinister. The prospect that I may be larger than I've ever believed worries me as much as it fascinates me. Before I can collect my thoughts, I feel Callum's palm lock over mine, his grasp firm and protective. His presence is a lifeline amid the maelstrom of uncertainty and dread. Don't listen to him, Callum exclaims fiercely, his tone filled with both rage and grief. He's manipulating you. I look at Callum, his eyes reflecting anguish and resolution, and I can feel the fight inside him, a war between protecting me and the load of secrets he's carried for far too long. Callum, I say, what are you hiding? I need to know the truth. He hesitates, and his look falls momentarily to the floor before returning to mine. The agony in his eyes is profound and clear. There are things about my past that I never had the strength to tell you, he adds in a voice laced with remorse. I've tried so hard to keep them hidden to protect you. The admission feels like a blade slashing further into my already aching heart. Then tell me now, Callum, I push, desperation vibrating in my voice. I can't live in darkness, in silence. If you love me, if we genuinely care about each other, you owe it to both of us to be honest. Callum's eyes flood with unshed tears as he strains to find the words. For a long while, the room is filled with a heavy stillness. Finally, his voice, strangled with emotion, bursts through. I made a deal, Aurora. Years before we ever met, I allied myself with someone dangerous in return for protection and power. I felt it was the best way to keep my location and secure my pack. His confession is honest, each word laden with guilt and pain. My breath catches in my throat. A deal? You established an accord with an enemy? The query trembles in my voice, astonishment and betrayal mingling. Every promise Callum had previously made, every vow that he would always protect me, now seemed tainted by this knowledge. Callum's look dips, unable to engage mine, as he continues, I never wanted to hurt you. I assumed I could manage it, keep the expense away from you, but now they want their cash. And that payment is you. The world appears to tilt, my legs shaky and my mind swirling. I step back, my vision fading with tears that I try to keep back. How could you? I choke out, my voice cracking beneath the weight of his treachery. How could you put me in danger like this? His face crumples, and he takes a hesitant step toward me, his fingers reaching out as if to erase the anguish in my eyes. Aurora, please. I never intended for any of this to happen, he adds, voice barely audible. I did it to protect my people, to keep our pack safe, and I thought I could shield you from the cost. I was wrong. I was so wrong. Every word he utters seems like a new wound. The reality of his concealed agreement, the knowledge that I was collateral in his desperate transaction, shatters my belief in him. I trusted you, Callum, I whisper hoarsely, tears threatening to pour. I gave you my heart, and now, how can I ever forgive this? Callum's eyes flood with unshed tears, and for a second, I see the vulnerable guy underneath the tough alpha facade, the man who loved me once, who still cares passionately despite everything. I'm sorry, Aurora, he replies, his voice cracking. I should have told you. I was frightened that if you knew the truth, you'd leave me, and I couldn't bear to lose you. But I never intended for you to be hurt. I shake my head, the anguish too acute to handle. You should have trusted me with the truth, Callum. I deserve honesty, even if it ruins us. My words tremble with both sadness and rage, a desperate cry for what once was and what may have been. Before I can communicate more, Victor's presence slithers into the space between us. His eyes, ice and dark, concentrate on me with a look that sends a new jolt of horror through my veins. Isn't this just fascinating? Victor sneers, his tone nasty and unpleasant. Callum, you've been hiding so much, haven't you? And Aurora, you've been kept in the dark for too long. Callum recoils, his eyes hardening as he glares at Victor, but I'm too overwhelmed to care. My thoughts are a confused blend of anguish and betrayal, and I can barely construct a cohesive response. Victor draws closer, his voice falling to a lethal whisper. Your bloodline isn't as simple as you think, Aurora. There's a reason everyone desires your presence. You're part of something much larger than you've ever imagined. His words, tainted with venom, send shivers down my spine. I feel as if every secret of my family, every buried information about who I actually am, is coming from the depths of the past. I can almost feel the pull of destiny, a power I never anticipated, threatening to consume me. Don't listen to him, Callum murmurs, his fingers tightening around mine. Victor is twisting the truth. He's attempting to make you doubt all we've built. But Victor's eyes cut into me, and his tone turns even colder. Aurora, you have no idea how important you truly are, he murmurs, leaning in until his breath grazes my ear. Callum's lies. Your lies are nothing compared to the secret your family holds. You're not just any regular wolf, you're the key to a heritage that has been buried for generations. The shock of his statements left me reeling. My mind races, and I feel as if the very ground beneath me is moving. Secrets of my heritage, hidden secrets that Callum never revealed, everything comes tumbling down all at once. I look urgently at Callum, hoping to find some comfort, but his eyes are filled with a maelstrom of contradictory sensations. Before I can voice another inquiry, Victor leans in even closer, his lips hardly moving as he utters a last, awful word that shatters my weak world. Your father wasn't who you believed him to be, Aurora. Everything you know about your background is a lie, and Callum, he's been keeping the truth from you all along. A single word, father, echoes in my mind like a death bell. The reality wounds profoundly, a betrayal that stretches well beyond our own life. My heart pounds so hard I can scarcely stand, and I feel as if my entire identity is being ripped apart at the seams. Callum's face pales, his eyes wide with fear and sadness. Aurora, no, he murmurs, reaching out quickly to pull me into his grip. But I recoil, dread and disbelief fighting inside me. Victor steps back with a frigid grin, his eyes glinting with glee. The truth is out, and soon you'll learn everything. But till then, he leaves me hanging with his parting words, a threat that promises more turmoil, more misery. My brain whirl, bewildered at the gravity of his admission. Everything I thought I knew about my family, my history, my whole self is disintegrating. I'm left terrified, torn between the guy who fooled me by keeping secrets and the unfathomable power of my ancestry now being thrust upon me. Callum remains unmoving for a moment, his countenance damaged and injured. Aurora, he eventually says, his voice almost audible. I never meant for you to suffer. I wanted to insulate you from a heritage I didn't even properly realize. I'm truly sorry. I can't find the words, my mind a blur of grief and deceit. In that tight second, I feel the tug of destiny and the sting of deceit, and I know that nothing will ever be the same again. And as I stand there, my heart crushed and my spirit bleeding, I realize that the genuine war is only just beginning, a shattered trust. Victor's words keep playing over and over in my head like a bad dream that will never end. I can't breathe because of how shocked I am by what he said. What I thought was the truth feels like it's broken. I must know, yet I am unable to look at Callum. My heart is beating fast, and I feel scared, angry, and betrayed all at the same time. I swallow hard and force myself to look at Callum. His usual sense of self-confidence is gone, and in its place is a strange feeling of shame. I ask Callum, "Is it true?" And the world around me seems to be spinning around me. "Have you been portraying my family to me?" My voice is shaking so badly that it's almost broken. I need him to say that Victor is merely trying to play with my thoughts, to deny it. Even though Callum doesn't answer right away, that terrible, suffocating quiet is enough of a reaction. He can't keep his eyes on me and looks away. As though the words he's repressing are choking him, his lips form a tight line. "Callum," I urge, my voice trembling but suddenly sharp. "Be honest with me. Have you been fooling me?" When he finally turns to face me, his face is pale, as though he has lost all energy. His shoulders are stiff, his jaw clenched, and I know, even before he talks, I am aware of the truth. However, I must hear it. I'm worthy of hearing it. With a soft yet stressed tone, Callum answers, "I didn't want to hurt you, Aurora. I believed I was keeping you safe. Defending me? What am I being saved from?" Like a tsunami wave, his words struck me, but instead of giving clarity, they simply made things more confused. "What are you protecting me from, Callum?" My voice rising, I ask. "From the real thing? How could you?" I step back, my hands shaking, and my voice breaks. I feel as though my heart is breaking into 1,000 pieces. "How could you have lied to me all along?" With despair in his eyes, Callum reaches for me, but I refuse. Once comforting, his touch now seems strange and soiled by betrayal. "I didn't want you to bear this load, Aurora. You've gone through enough, and I felt like I was acting properly. What's right?" I laughed bitterly, but my voice sounded more like a sob. "Was it right to lie to me about my family and my true self?" My eyes ache from tears, but I'm not going to let them go. Not right now. Not before him. Even if my heart hurts, the deception is more powerful. I can't stop recalling anything Victor said. "You belong to something far bigger. My life seems to be falling apart in front of me, and Callum has always been the one with the answers to the questions I've had about my past." With a voice full of pain, Callum says, "I didn't want this. I never intended to cause you harm. So why didn't you believe me?" I ask, hardly raising my voice above a whisper. "What prevented you from telling me the truth?" He doesn't answer, and that silence, again that unbearable silence, kills me inside. As though I can escape the pain and deception, I take another step back and remove myself from him, but it's already etched in my being. Victor smirks as he watches us, enjoying the destruction he has caused. "See, Aurora," he adds in a smooth, poisonous voice, "Callum has been keeping you in the dark, concealing who you really are because he understands what it would mean if you found out. He fears that he will lose you." Callum's voice is stern as he yells, "Shut up, Victor." Yet I can see that he is bothered by regret. Ignoring Callum's rage, Victor steps forward and sets his eyes on my. "Aurora, I can tell you everything, your entire family, your real bloodline, etc. Yet there is a cost. I am aware of his deeds. He is trying to further widen the wound by manipulating me. Despite my desire to avoid him, there is a part of me that is wanting to know the truth." My thoughts are rushing, stuck between the enemy who has the key to my past and the man I believed I could trust. Panic flashes through Callum's widened eyes. "Don't listen to him, Aurora. He is utilizing this against you and us. But is he mistaken?" My voice is quiet yet sharp as I ask, "Callum, did you keep the truth from me?" I can see the pain on his face as he flinches at what I say. He reiterates, "Yes, but I did it to protect you." But the explanation is now insufficient. It seems empty. It is insufficient. Feeling as though everything is falling on me, I shake my head. I say, "I don't even know who to trust anymore." My voice falters, and I feel totally lost for the first time in a long time. With a smooth and believable voice, Victor takes advantage of the situation. "Aurora, you don't have to believe him. I'll tell you everything you want to know if you come with me. The facts. Callum has been hiding from you regarding your family." Callum takes a step forward, his words begging. "Please, Aurora, don't follow him. You're just being used by him. I can't stop the doubt from getting in, though. Callum has been lying to me, even though Victor may be taking advantage of me. A piece of my life and who I am has been hidden by the one person I thought I could trust. All I see when I look at Callum, the man I once thought would never turn on me, are the lies he has been hiding. The loss of something I thought to be intertwined between us is what hurts my heart more than anger or betrayal. Victor approaches, suffocating yet somehow comforting in the middle of my inner turmoil. You deserve the truth, Aurora, he says in a low, seductive voice. You should be aware of your true self. I'm only sharing the information that was stolen from you, but you'll have to leave him behind in order to receive it. My breath catches, and I look from Victor to Callum. The man I love, Callum, was dishonest with me. The one who is giving me information, Victor, but at what price? My eyes are burning with tears once more, and I'm not sure if I can make this choice. My mind is tugging me in a different way, even as my heart is screaming one thing. Can I truly leave Callum to find the truth? Or should I stay despite the fact that our relationship is broken? My voice breaks as I say, I don't know. Victor whispers the last blow, leaning in and putting his lips near my ear. Aurora, make a smart choice. The truth doesn't wait for anyone. With those words, I find myself standing on an edge, my world crumbling, and I have an increasingly tough choice to make. Will I stay and allow the lies to break my heart further, or will I leave Callum behind for the truth? Choosing sides. Victor's eyes gleam with a deadly promise, and his hand is extended, fingers slightly curved in invitation. Like poison wrapped in silk, his voice is enticing and velvety. Come with me, Aurora, he begs, twisting every syllable. I'll answer all of your queries. The truth about your family and your own self. You can't trust Callum. His hand is hovering in front of me, and I gaze at it as if grabbing it will make everything different. My head is whirling from the gravity of what has occurred, and my heart is still beating. Still beating. Callum deceived me. He concealed from me something extremely crucial about myself. However, following Victor is like walking into the unknown, a risky journey with no certainty of protection. I can feel the weight of their gaze coming down on me, and there is a lot of tension between the two guys. With a soft but forceful tone, Victor says, Come on, Aurora. I won't keep you in the dark like Callum has. I'll give you the replies you're due. His lips curve into a small, mischievous grin as his eyes narrow slightly. He is so sure in himself that he knows I will select him. Callum's voice, harsh and urgent, pierces the cloud in my mind from behind me. Don't go, Aurora. His statements are horrible and honest, like a plea. I am aware that I caused you anguish. I assumed I was protecting you, but I should have told you the truth. Don't leave, please. I vow I'll set this right. The hurt of betrayal is still fresh, but I can feel the weight of his words and the love in his voice tugging at my heart. How could he have spent so much time lying to me? How was it possible for him to keep this from me? The falsehoods he sought to hide are now obvious every time I look at him. As the conflict inside of me continues, torn between the truth I've desired for my whole life and the person I've given my heart to, my chest feels tighter. Callum, do you truly love me? I ask, scarcely lifting my voice above a whisper. I need to hear his respond, but the question slips my lips before I can stop it. I want to know whether our love was real or a fake. I momentarily see the guy I fell in love with, the one who has supported me through everything, as his face contorts in misery. He approaches me but is scared to touch me, saying, More than anything, Aurora. His eyes are brimming with humiliation, and his hands are shaking a bit. I've loved you forever. I didn't tell you the truth because of this. I didn't want to watch your misery. Did you not want to see me in pain? I repeat it again, with a tone of disbelief. But Callum, you still injured me. Lying to me or concealing secrets is equal to violating my trust. My statements slice the atmosphere between us like a knife. I see him grimace as if I've punched him, but I don't quit up. I understand, he adds in a sad mumble. I'll do whatever it takes to make up for my mistake, even though I know I made one. Simply said, don't accompany him. Don't allow Victor to make things worse. Aurora, I can make this right. Give me that opportunity, please. His statements slice my chest like knives. I'd like to assume he's genuine. I want to believe that he was striving to protect me and that everything he did was done out of love. But the misery, the betrayal, It's too much. How can I ever again trust him? Now, how can I be confident he's giving me the truth? I turn back to Victor, whose eyes are sparkling with glee as he observes the exchange with a smug smirk. With a low murmur, Victor replies, "You owe him nothing. It was he who tricked you. Aurora, I'm telling you the truth. You are not compelled to choose him. Make your own choice." His words connect strongly with me. He is accurate. I owe Callum nothing at all. He violated my trust, and now he wants me to assume he'll restore it? While my bewilderment deepens, so does my wrath. Emotions are boiling in my thoughts, and I'm at a loss on what to do. Callum strides closer and places his beseeching stare on mine. "Please, Aurora, I cherish you. I didn't intend to insult you. Allow me to rectify it." His speech is so full of passion, and I can feel the sorrow in his eyes, but I can't help but hear the voice in my brain telling me that he's already destroyed something irreparable. The thick, suffocating calm between us lasts until I finally breathe deeply. I shake as I say, "I'm not sure if I can trust you anymore, Callum. You have been deceiving me for a very long time. How can I be assured that you won't do it again?" Callum looks to be ready to speak as his face gets white, but Victor approaches closer while keeping his hand extended. His voice is smooth and persuasive as he adds, "Aurora, you can't trust him, but you can rely on me." I hesitate, staring back and forth between them. My brain is driving me to go with Victor in order to obtain the truth that has been concealed from me for so long, but my heart is crying for me to remain with Callum and give him another opportunity. My hand continues to gently stretch toward Victor's, my fingers shivering as it comes closer. The atmosphere surrounding us is tense and heavy with the decision I'm going to make. However, a thunderous explosion erupts through the air as soon as my fingers contact Victor's palm. As the earth trembles ferociously under us, I lurch back, gasping in amazement. For a minute, everything is in disorder as the blast's ferocity sends debris flying in all directions. I'm having difficulties digesting what's going on. Dust fills the air, making it impossible to see, and the boom is so loud that my ears are ringing. In an effort to shield me from the falling debris, Callum takes my arm and pulls me in close. His voice is frantic in my ear, but I can't hear what he's saying. The world appears to be spinning out of control, but Victor is also saying something. The earth is still trembling under us, and my heart is hammering in my chest as adrenaline is flowing through my veins. I have no clue what's going on or where the explosion started, but I do know that nothing will ever be the same. The ferocity of the explosion takes away my choice as I stand between Callum and Victor in the heart of the commotion, with the earth still quivering and debris falling all around us. When everything is said and done, what will be my sole option? A sudden attack. Everything was a blur of noise and dust. Before I can react, the earth is wrenched from beneath me as the explosion sends debris soaring into the air. I'm propelled back, my body smashing into the ground. The great activity around us dulls the ache that burns through me. I struggle to make sense of what just occurred while gasping for oxygen and blinking against the fuzz. My ears are ringing from the explosion, and my head is whirling. All I can hear are the distant screams ringing in the distance and the deafening sound of falling debris. "Aurora!" Callum's gruff yet earnest voice bursts through the commotion. He's at my side, hauling me up off the ground before I can completely realize what's happening. I'm sheltered from the falling debris by his arms enveloping me. "Are you in pain?" His eyes are wide with horror, seeking my face, and his speech is frantic. "I am. I'm all right." Despite my pulse thumping in my chest, I manage to choke out. I feel as if I am imprisoned in a nightmare from which I am unable to awaken. Callum hangs on to me fiercely, his hands clutching to my arms as if I may suddenly disappear. His eyes fly over my body, seeking for any evident wounds. With a voice that is barely above a whisper, but laced with urgency, he announces, "We need to move. We must escape this location. It's not secure." The earth trembles once more before I can respond, a deep, threatening rumbling that chills me to the bone. I gaze toward the forest line and my blood shivers at what I see. My heart sinks. Dozens of people are emerging from the forest shadows, rogues. Their bodies are tense and primed to fight, and their eyes are wild, and Victor is in command of them all. They move like predators waiting for their prey, and I can feel it. I'm so afraid of how they're advancing on us that my stomach twists. I scream, terror swelling in my throat as I hold to Callum. There are so many of them. The growls of the rogues fill the air as they approach. I am aware that we are surrounded and the hairs on the back of my neck rise up. No place to run to. Callum's jaw clenches as he glances around, calculating our possibilities, and his hand tightens on me. We must go. Right now. Despite his firmness, there is a sense of desperation in his voice. The thing that terrifies me the most is that he is likewise terrified. Victor's voice, however, pierces the uncertainty like a blade before we can move. Aurora, you're not leaving. As if this was all part of his plan, I turn to find him standing a few feet away, his eyes sparkling with triumph. The rogues draw closer, around us, and his lips curl into a satisfied grin. With a taut, combat-ready physique, Callum moves ahead of me. He says in a calm, protecting voice, "Stay behind me. I'll make sure we leave." Victor, however, moves forward and stares straight at me. "Aurora, you're making a mistake," he continues in a smooth but frightening tone. "Do you feel Callum can keep you safe? From the outset, he has been fooling you. Are you convinced you want to trust him?" My chest tightens at his comments, and I turn at Callum, who has a resolute expression on his face, combined with a trace of embarrassment. I'm not sure who I can trust anymore. Between the guy I love and the one who is providing me answers, my mind are racing. The weight of Victor's words suffocates me as it pounds down. Callum turns to face me and pleads, "Aurora, don't listen to him," in an extremely agitated voice. "He's seeking to control you. Even though I recognize I made a mistake, I tried all I could to keep you safe." "Keep me safe?" I repeat, my voice trembling. "By keeping secrecy? By withholding things from me? The lies are still clear in my memory, and the treachery aches my heart." Callum's eyes urge me to understand as his face softens. He says, "I never wanted to hurt you, but now you must have trust in me, please." However, Victor's chuckle is chilly and contemptuous. Have trust in him? After all of his actions? His eyes never leave mine as he takes a step closer. "Aurora, come with me. I'll be honest with you. I'll offer you something that Callum was never able to." I feel like I'm drowning in the worry that pervades the air. The rogues are approaching closer, their growls growing more sinister and louder. I feel that they are studying me and waiting for Victor to deliver the command. The two guys are dragging me in opposite directions, pinning me between them. As I gaze between them, undecided about whom to believe and whom to trust, my heart thuds in my chest. Victor's expression is cool and confident, while Callum's is filled with dread. My body appears immovable, but my mind is crying for me to flee and escape this spot. Callum's hand suddenly grips mine, gripping on tight as he drags me in. He reiterates, this time with additional desperation, "We need to get out of here, now." His eyes are full of resolution as he stares at the rogues and then back at me. "I refuse to allow them to take you." However, Victor's speech contaminates my thoughts like poison. "Aurora, you're not leaving." The rogues respond to his words like a command, roaring and moving closer. My head is flooded with terror. With each second that passes by, the space between us and the rogues becomes smaller and my breathing gets shallow. We're confined. Callum forcefully and decisively pulls me to my feet. With his eyes flaming with sorrow, he says angrily, "I'm not losing you. Never, never now." However, Victor's giggle makes me shudder. "Callum, you can't lose her." Every move I do only entangles me deeper in this mess, making me feel like I'm stuck in a web. My heart is torn between Victor's promises and Callum's admiration, and my brain is spinning. The betrayal still cuts me in the core. Even if I want to trust Callum, Victor too. Victor offers the knowledge I've been seeking, but at what price? The rogues' growls became louder and more ferocious. We're running out of time, and they're waiting for Victor's signal. Callum clutches me more securely, his muscles rigid as though he's preparing to fight. "Believe me, Aurora," Callum says, his voice rising above the ruckus. "Please, I cherish you." His emotionally charged statements remain in the air, and everything else fades for a second. As I gaze into Callum's eyes, everything else slips away, including the danger, Victor. And the rogues. I still admire him in spite of everything, even the heartbreak and the lies. However, the rogues charge before I can even think, before I can speak. My heart is beating in my chest as mayhem breaks out all around us, trapping me between Callum's desperate effort to protect me and Victor's rogues. Right now, I'm not sure who I can trust, or if I'll survive long enough to make a choice, escape or fight. Callum takes a strong grasp of my hand and leads me over to the wood's edge. My legs feel weak from worry of the rogues chasing us, and my heart thuds in my chest. He hangs on to me when I fall, his arm surrounding my waist to keep me going. Behind us, the rogues' growls became more evil and louder. I peek over my shoulder and gasp. They're getting closer. There are rogues everywhere, and they're coming closer. As I look straight at Victor, who is standing in the middle of the chaos and watching us with his chilly, twisted grin, my stomach flips. His chuckle makes me shudder. Callum mutters to himself, "We'll make it." But I can hear the fear in his voice. His body is straight and his jaw is tight, as though he is ready for the worst. Panic growing in my throat, my heart pounding. I shake as I say, "There's no way out. We're confined." Callum's grasp on me becomes stronger. "Aurora, I will not allow him to take you. Never, ever, now." Even though his comments are harsh, I can feel the worry coming from him, as indicated by the way his body tenses up when he sees the rogues blocking our lone means of escape by making a solid wall in front of us. The woods loom ahead, dark and scary, yet they provide little safety anymore. Already, the rogues are circling us, their blood-hungry, burning eyes. I tried to think of a way out, but the terror stops me in my tracks. I feel goosebumps when I hear Victor's chilly laughs echoing through the night. "You can't fight me, Callum," he says in a tauntingly smooth voice. "You've lost already. You never had the strength to keep her safe." At Victor's words, I see Callum's body tighten next to me, his hands squeezing. I am aware that Victor is trying to upset him and break his determination, but it is successful. The glint of doubt in Callum's eyes is obvious to me. Despite my own fear, I try to soothe him by saying, "Don't listen to him," and holding his arm. "This is something we can escape, together." Callum's eyes are full of feeling as he stares down at me. "Aurora, I don't care what it takes. I'll protect you. I'll protect us." Although his speech is loud and determined, I can sense he is frightened. He is aware of our problems. The rogues creep in on us as Victor takes a step closer. He sneers, his eyes sparkling with evil purpose. "You're not going anywhere. Aurora, you are now mine." I feel ill to my stomach at the words. I take a step nearer Callum, putting my body against his for safety and comfort. In truth, however, I feel stuck. There is no obvious way to freedom, and there are simply too many rogues. Fear pressing around my chest is all I can think of as my mind rushes, looking for a plan. Beside me, Callum shifts, his muscles tensing up like an animal ready to strike. With real anger in his voice, he yells at Victor, "I'm not letting you take her. I'd sooner die than give her to you." I can feel the strain between them, and it seems thick enough to choke me. As Callum pulls me close, I can feel his heart beating against mine, as if he's trying to hide me from everything. Victor smirks and adds, "You'll get your wish soon enough," in a scary tone. The rogues approach him as he nods, their growls getting more nasty and louder. With tiny breaths of air, I clutch to Callum. "It's this. We are trapped. There's no way out. Stay behind me." Callum breathes as he takes me closer to him and puts his lips to my ear. "I shall reject them," I say, digging my fingers into his arm. "They can't all be taken. Both of us will die." He stares directly into my eyes, determined and hostile. "Rather than let him take you, I'd rather die fighting." My eyes hurt from crying. His words, the passion and despair in his voice make my heart ache. I'd prefer not lose him. Not in this way. Not to Victor. However, I spot a flash of movement from the darkness as the rogues push forward. A tall, strong man appears from the darkness, and my heart skips a beat. Bennett is here. He approaches us with a weapon I have never seen before, and his eyes are sparkling with fire. As Bennett raises the weapon and points it straight toward the rogues, my breath catches in my throat. Long and sleek, with flashing blue lines that shine, it's unlike anything I've ever seen. Power seemed to sizzle in the air around us. What on earth is that? With wide eyes, I see Bennett approach, totally unfazed by the gang of thieves around us, and I say, Callum's body stays tight as he watches Bennett approach, but there is a spark of hope in his eyes as they narrow. He says in a quiet voice, "I don't know. But it could be our only chance, whatever it is." For the first time, Victor's self-assured grin falters, and he looks at Bennett with a confused and annoyed face. With an angry tone, he yells, "What do you think you're doing, Bennett?" "This is not your battle." Bennett stayed mute. He advances carefully, looking at the crooks as if they were merely impediments in his route. The air hums with a strange, almost magical energy as he lifts the weapon higher. Bennett adds in a cool, unflappable voice, "I suggest you back off, Victor. Unless you're interested in seeing what this thing is capable of." Victor glares at Bennett, his face going serious and his mouth clenched. He says, "You're a fool if you think you can stop me." This battle is over already. Bennett, however, is relentless. He approaches, keeping a firm grasp on the weapon as he stands between us and the crooks. He continues, "You're wrong," in a harsh and rigid tone. "This battle is just getting started." I can feel the energy flashing between them, and the stress in the air is thick. The relationship is dramatically changed by Bennett's arrival. He doesn't feel afraid, and tonight, for the first time, I'm feeling hopeful. With a sneer, Victor looks from Bennett to Callum and then back to me. "Aurora, this isn't over," he says in an angry voice. "I'll be back, and you'll be mine when I come back." I shiver at what he says, but Victor turns and tells the rogues to back off before I can answer. Despite their growls and snarls, they hear his orders and vanish back into the forest darkness. The noise suddenly fades, leaving behind an eerie quiet. With my legs wobbly from the excitement, I crash against Callum. His arms surround me, hugging me close, but I'm having a hard time understanding what has happened. Callum's voice is scratchy with tiredness as he adds, "Bennett, where did you obtain that firearm?" Bennett takes a bit to answer. He glances back at us after looking toward the woods where the rogues disappeared. With secrets in his eyes, he whispers, "Callum, there's a lot you don't know." I take a short step back from Callum and look to Bennett, puzzled. "What are you saying? What is that object?" When Bennett's eyes touch mine, I sense something in them for the first time that I'm not sure what it is. Something disturbing. "All in good time," he adds gently, in a calm but absent tone. "You're safe for the time being. However, this is not the end. An unexpected ally." Bennett, with his massive shoulders straight and his weapon still burning weakly in the darkness, stands tall between us and the outlaws. With a determined fire in his eyes, he swings around to face us when his vicious stare latches onto Victor's fleeing body. With a forceful and uncompromising voice, he announces, "I'm not letting Victor win this fight." My body trembles from the adrenaline of the near escape, and I blink in amazement, still leaning on Callum for support. Why is Bennett now aiding us? I wasn't even positive whose side he was on until a few seconds ago. Tension pervades the air, and I can feel Callum's muscles tensing up next to me. He holds me protectively behind him as he moves forward. Bennett, his jaw tightening into a snarl as his body emanates rage. "Bennett, you're the reason we're in this mess," Callum says in a low, frightening voice. "They came here because of you. We were put up by you." Bennett's expression stays uncompromising. He maintains his cool, but as he meets Callum's accusatory glare, a flicker of sorrow flashes in his eyes. He adds gently, "I didn't lead them here," in a steady tone that indicates a weight of stillness. "This is not what I ever wanted." Callum's hands are locked at his sides and his gaze tighten. "Do you think I'll accept that, after all of your actions?" I lay a light touch on Callum's arm as I reach out. "Wait," I reply in a hushed but forceful voice. "Give him a chance to speak." Bennett turns to face me, his eyes softening as if he can feel the vulnerability I'm suppressing. His tone softens, almost like a whisper. "Aurora, I'm working to set things right. That is the amount I owe you." I wasn't prepared for how severely his statements struck me. Something honest and sorrowful is in the way he expresses himself. I pause, trying to make sense of everything as my mind rushes. Up until this moment, Bennett had always been a mystery, someone who teetered on the verge of disaster but never fully entered it. However, why is he aiding us? "You owe me?" I repeated again, my voice trembling. "Bennett, what are you talking about? Why are you behaving in this way?" His eyes are full of sensations I can't quite fathom, and his jaw is clenched as he stares at me. His voice is almost heard as he acknowledges, "I've made mistakes. However, I never wanted you to suffer harm." Callum scoffs and glares at Bennett as his arm encircles my waist for protection. "You are completely liable for this. Bennett, you deceived us. Now, how can we trust you?" Bennett exhales deeply, his face pained but resolute. "Callum, I'm conscious that I don't warrant your trust. However, we don't have time for that at the present. Victor will return if we don't depart, and he won't let up until he gets what he wants. With my heart throbbing in my chest, I stare at Callum. He is accurate. Victor is not easily disheartened. I can see the turmoil in Callum's eyes, but we must go. He has no trust in Bennett, and to be honest, I don't believe I do either. However, we have no other alternative at this moment. Callum glares at Bennett, his jaw tensing. If you're deceiving us. Bennett interrupts firmly. I'm not, in a voice that is full of conviction. I am here to serve you. If we collaborate, we can overcome this. I'm shocked at how honest his voice sounds. I momentarily catch a glimpse of the previous Bennett, the one that was on our side before things went wrong. Perhaps, just perhaps, there is still something trustworthy in him. Callum lets out a huge breath, evidently anxious. His eyes wander between Bennett and me for a long time before he speaks. Finally, while his expression is still harsh, he nods. All right, he whispers. But I'll kill you myself if you betray us once more. A small grin that is filled with melancholy twitches Bennett's lips. Anything less would be unacceptable to me. As I attempt to absorb what's unfolding, I swallow, my throat tight. After struggling for our lives, we have somehow joined forces with Bennett, of all people. Even if it seems unreal, there isn't time to ponder about it. We must move. Callum tugs me ahead while gritting his teeth and says, "Let's go." We're running out of time. Bennett leads the way through the woods ahead of us. Everything appears even more strange when the weapon he is carrying hums quietly in the calm night air, emitting a faint light. I can't resist having a brief glance at it as I'm curious. What's that thing? I ask, scarcely lifting my voice above a whisper. Bennett throws me a sidelong look, his features inscrutable. Something from a long time ago? That's what it is. A weapon meant to confront the type of evil Victor is delivering. I scowl, not knowing how to take his evasive remark. He is not telling us a great deal, and there are a lot of questions that remain unanswered. But don't press him just now. With the rogues hidden somewhere in the shadows, their presence like an imminent menace, we make our way through the dark woods in quiet. We feel as if we are walking on a razor's edge, waiting for the danger to resurface, and every step seems heavy. I can't get rid of the sense that something is wrong, and my heart is hammering in my ears. Why is Bennett assisting us now? Why would he suddenly decide to shift sides after all this? My belly churns in uncertainty as the notion lingers. I'm stopped in place when I hear movement behind us, just when I feel we're going ahead. They are catching up to the rogues. They're approaching, I mumble, my voice shaking with anxiety. Callum mutters obscenities as he looks around us at the shadowy jungle. We must move more quickly. Bennett is unhesitating. He turns and takes a step back in the rogue's direction, his grip tightening on his weapon. He says firmly, "Go," assuming a tone of authority. "I'll keep them away." "No." My hand immediately goes out in protest. "You cannot overcome them by alone. You will be murdered." His expression is harsh as he shakes his head. "You two must leave this spot. I will catch up. Believe me." Callum stops, his wish to run colliding with his protective inclinations. His eyes reflect the conflict, but at last he gives in and drags me forward once again. His voice is tight as he adds, "We'll get out of this. Just keep in close proximity." With the growls of the rogues increasing louder behind us, we start to flee. My feet pound on the wooded floor as I expend greater effort, my lungs burning. The darkness envelops us like a suffocating blanket as the trees glide past. However, I can't get rid of the sensation that something is awry even as we go. Bennett's intentions for supporting us are more complicated than he implies. He isn't informing us about the deeper side of things. As the rogues approach, I cast a last glimpse over my shoulder and see Bennett keeping his position, his weapon sparkling brightly. And I know the fact at that same moment, Bennett is hiding something that has the power to transform everything